Well, hello there and welcome. My name is Kylie Patchett and I'm your host, and welcome to the Wild and Finally Fucking Free podcast. This show is all about sharing the real and raw stories from women who have undergone midlife metamorphosis, taken a leap of faith, or broken the ties that bind them in patterns of staying stuck, small, and like their needs don't matter. You see, I believe that the years leading up to and during menopause are a rite of passage, a deep invitation after so many years of giving our time, attention, and energy to others to carve out the same time, energy, and attention in ourselves, in our health, our love, our connection, our vitality, our purpose, our real needs and deep desires. You know, those ones lying dormant underneath all the duty, responsibility, pushing, striving, and achieving of our 20s and 30s? You see, at this stage in our lives, we find ourselves shifting identity potentially, no longer caring as much what other people think, and left wondering why on earth we have not given ourselves permission to do life in the way we truly want to. In this show, I speak to the women brave enough to truth talk their own midlife shedding skin stories and the healers and helpers who help them transition through these crossroads of change. This is the midlife magic you didn't even know you needed, and I am so freaking glad you found us. Let's dive in. I always do a little jiggle at the beginning of these. Hello, everyone. I have got the beautiful Elle Steele, self-belief agent. I want to say extraordinaire. I feel like there should be drum rolls or something. Welcome, Elle. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me. It's lovely to see your face.
Isn't it? It's so nice to connect with, I always have that. I watch people, like connect with people's messages online, and I'm like, it's like I know them. And then I'm like, I don't actually.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know you.
Yeah. Nice to know you too.
So good. I've been really resonating with a lot of the content that you're putting out at the moment about. Actually, you did one the other day about, like, if you have to market through how much money you're making, then what? And I was like, yeah. Anyway, I'm getting off track already. Please introduce your lovely self to our beautiful listeners.
Yeah, well, my name's Elle Steele. I am the self-belief agent. I'm a 5-time Australian representative, a Paralympian and a gold medalist. That's kind of my muggle, human introduction. I have worked in corporate and business marketing, business marketing, sports marketing, and I'm also a Palladian starseed, so I have psychic abilities, energy healing abilities. I have a direct connection to the crystalline layer of the universe, where my beautiful starseed family sit, and my spirit team, who is headed up by my spirit guide Onyx. And I kind of mold all of these bits of me together. So I have an online space called the Self-Belief Club, and I'm big on letting people create a really beautiful, solid foundation of self-belief for them to leverage everything off. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then nothing's really going to work anyway. So, I kind of play in that space, do a lot of motivational speaking, and do a little bit of advocacy work within the women in sport space, particularly in the Paralympic space.
I love how you just say all of that, like it's like, just garden variety stuff. And I was like reading through your bio again before, and I was like, far out, man. How many years have you been alive? 300? Like,
yeah, feels like it. That's why my health insurance is for a 70-year-old woman.
It's like, I have done some miles. My goodness, I've got so many places to start. What's pulling to me the most is I don't know anything about Palladian starseed, and actually, no, before we get down that track, just honouring the fact that you have your muggle and your magic out loud and proud, because I feel like, and for myself as well, there's parts of us that we're very happy to talk about, that it's like, they're the socially acceptable bits, but this whole other part of ourselves may not be out loud and proud yet. So first of all, honouring the crap out of the fact that you will talk about all facets of you. Tell me more about the starseed. So, sorry, what did you just say? It took you a while to get there?
It took a lot to get there, like to get to a point where you can talk about all parts of you. mostly because the world kind of, and when you have a body like mine, your body, you're told what you're meant to, where you're meant to sit in society. And so when you have a disability and you're a starseed and you're a woman, like I found it quite difficult to really talk about all the different facets of me. So, I'm really proud now. So thank you for saying that. Now I'm proud to say that I'm kind of not human, like I'm an alien that's come here to create controversy in this body, but also to heal the collective through the work that I do.
But I love so much that sentence. Controversy and invitation. Okay, so the curiosity in me wants to reverse then. Before you were comfortable showing all of these parts of yourself, like what's the journey? What's been the calling to do that? What's created and I'm always going to say, the pain that transforms into the power of talking about your whole self, but I don't know whether you would use that language. So do you want to talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so my spiritual my real spiritual adventure began when I finished my swimming career. I was at the end of my swimming career. So I swam for Australia for 13 years, and at the end of my career, my shoulder was pretty basically the bicep wasn't really attached to the bone anymore because of all the hours I was swimming and the Ks I was swimming. Yeah,
just something a little, just a little
issue. Yeah, and so I went to all these Western medicine doctors, and they all told me that the pain and the issue was in my head, and it wasn't actually an injury. So then I went to a spiritual healer because I'm one of these people that wants to find the answer. So I'm relentless in my pursuit to the answer or the goal or whatever. And I just was going on every angle. So I went to this spiritual healer, and I'm lying on the treatment table, and she says, you're psychic. And I'm like, yes, I know I'm psychic, but I'm scared. And I've had moments of psychicness in my childhood and in my life, but it hadn't really been met with, what's the word? Like, no one had championed me to be that version of myself or that person. And so I had always hidden it away and not kind of spoken about the abilities that I had. And so then because you're not using the psychic muscle, it just kind of gets a bit pruny, it shrivels up.
Atrophy.
So then, she helped me to open that part of me up. And that was about 15 years ago. It just became this part of me. Yeah.
So sorry. I don't mean to keep on talking over you. I'm just so excited. I've got so when I hear truth very clearly, and particularly when I'm, interviewing something like this, my right side of my head gets all tingly, but I've actually got tingles all down the back side of my body. So there's some magic here that I want to dive into. So can you talk about how, do you talk to your family now? Like you're out psychically to your entire
I'm fully out.
Universe?
Yeah.
So did they see, notice, understand, hear, recognize that you had psychic abilities when you were littler?
They did, and my mum used to think I was being facetious, and my grandfather was quite psychic too, and so when I came to my nana, who I actually live next door to, I live next door to my 89-year-old grandmother, which is really cool. When I used to come and visit Nana and Pa, I first told Nan that I was psychic. She said, well, Pa is too. And he had moments of psychic ability. Wow. They got together when they were 14. So, throughout their whole marriage and stuff, but it wasn't really a spoken thing. But me and Pa were always really kindred spirits. And at the end of his life, he came to me within 24 hours of leaving Earth and said, I didn't get Nana a Christmas present. Can you organise to get her a Christmas present? The money will be in your account. And so we had his funeral on a Friday, and then that Friday night, me and my sisters went into the city because one of my sisters was moving to London within a week. So it was kind of our Christmas sisters date. And every shop we went into, the Beach Boys was playing. That was my pa's favourite band. The Beach Boys Christmas too was playing. It was super weird. Every shop, and it was like he was following us. And then I told my sisters, and then that had happened. And then the next morning, I was like, well, we'll go and buy this present because the money will be in my account. I don't know how it's going to be in my account. And I got a call on a Saturday morning from Centrelink when I still had the disability pension, mentioning that I'd been underpaid $3,000. And so obviously I didn't buy a $3,000 present, but we then had money to pay for that. We could buy more of a beautiful present for Nan because there was more money available. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was an amazing man. And he you know, his story kind of fits in with the stories of overcoming things too. He was a person who lived with chronic pain.
Yeah,
and you know, in some form disability. He probably wouldn't want to have said that it was a disability just because of who he was as a person. But yeah.
So that leads me on to what I wanted to come back to before. You used the word controversy of being in this body. Can you tell us what you mean by that? And I guess the second follow-up question, that's like, I don't know, if I was asking this in a coaching session, it'd be like the devil's avocado question, I always call them, do you feel like before you came into this world that you chose the body that you have because you wanted to actually create that big ripple and agitation to create healing? Hey gorgeous, we interrupt this gold for a delicious invitation. If your whole body has been whispering more lately, more voice, more truth, more satisfaction, more clients of the soulmate variety, more cash, more you, then this invitation is for you. Potent, my sister mind is officially open. This is my high touch, holy fuck, I'm ready sister mind for rebels in good girl clothing who are done outsourcing their power and diluting their magic to fit into someone else's business formula. If you have been craving a space where your strategy, your voice, and your energy all get to be offered, honored, refined, and amplified, this is it. Inside of Potent, you'll get my eyes on your business every single week, copy mentoring, and that is for brand copy and content storytelling that turns your truth into client catnip, energetic recalibration that helps you unhook old learned limitation patterns, keeping you quiet, not being seen, not being heard, real-time, high-touch, one-on-one coaching that actually sees the bigness of your vision, and the kind of sisterhood that does not flinch when you show up in your full, messy, brilliant, phoenix rising from the ashes glory. This isn't surface level support. It's deep, potent, paradigm shifting work that changes who you are as a woman in business and a woman in life. We start in August. Early open access is open right now. For the month of June 2025, inside of this early access open doors period, you will receive juicy bonuses, extended payment plans, and access immediately to my entire library of storytelling gold. You'll find all the juicy details at kyliepatchett.com/potent. And we fill spaces, and there's only 10 of them, and more than likely only 5 by the time you listen to this, because by that time I will have offered them to the existing cohort, the beautiful original OG circle. We do actually take applications on a first come, first served basis. So come and apply, and let's get back to the magic of the episode.
Yeah, so I believe that my body is controversial because the world is constantly telling me that my body is not right or beautiful or sexual or whatever, insert negative connotation to person with disability. And when I was younger, I definitely believed that. But as I've got older, as I've got in touch with my intuition and my spirit team, and I've understood that I'm a soul and not a body.
Yes.
It just is a thing that's kind of there.
Yeah. Just happens to be the vessel you're in, right?
It just happens to be the best. Yeah. And I mean, my body is like, I went to the Paralympics. Like, I've traveled the world because I'm a good swimmer, but also because of the way my body is.
Yes.
So, you know, I don't feel like it's not a burden or anything to me. It just is what it is. Yeah.
So when you said you feel like the controversy of being in the body, what you were meaning was this externally projected controversy. And
yes.
I'm very much using the inverted comma fingers for people listening, because it automatically is still the thought process for a lot of people that anyone that's in a differently abled body is automatically, it's a negative thing rather than just
it's a negative thing
different.
And it's something to be like, what a tragedy that this, you know, if some people believe that having a disability is a tragedy, and it's so far from the truth. And, you know, it just blows my mind that we're in 2023 and people still are not hired for employment because based on things like their disability, which has such a small amount to do with the person's ability to perform a job.
Yeah.
Unless the job is like, I can't drive a forklift. I mean, if I had hand controls, I probably could, but I can't get up onto a forklift. So I'm not going to apply for a job to drive a forklift.
Yeah.
So there's so much projection onto people with disabilities that able-bodied people know what's best for us. It's like, well, they need to rescue us and tell us how we have to be. And you know, we were talking a little bit earlier about like my TED talk talks to that. It talks to, although it's not out yet, so don't Google it. Google it. Maybe it'll be out.
But I'm going to go retrospectively because there will be people listening to this, you know, after it's out. So we'll go back retrospectively and add it to the show notes. So yes.
But you know, it's about kind of when you have a disability, the world is not built for you. So you go through the world doing the best you can, and you live this incredible, inspiring life like anyone else, because anyone can be inspiring. Having a disability doesn't automatically mean you're inspiring.
Yeah.
But then in order to get help, you have to downplay the successes in your life, and you have to make out that your life is really hard, or, you know, that your life is spent writing letters to people trying to get help for things, which then has to re-traumatizes you, which just reminded me that I haven't written a letter to the local council about the parking fine that I got last week.
Oh,
so
I actually wanted to talk about that because I read your post about that too. And I was like, exactly what you said. How is it 2022 and we're still fucking having these conversations?
23, we're in 2023.
Sorry, I'm behind myself. It's not January yet, people. How are we still having these conversations? How are we having conversations about any, like, disabled bodies, gender, like anything? It's like a person is a person is a person. How the fuck are we still having these conversations?
Yeah. And what makes one person better than the other? Well, nothing. We all just lean into love. If we could all give ourselves permission to love the things that freak us out, which sometimes are disabled bodies.
Yeah. I remember I had this I had actually worked in like marketing and communications in all different science, medical, community services field, but I'd worked in mental health recovery mainly and community services. And I started working at a place that did like all sorts of support worky type of stuff. But where I was working was what was called the day center, which I hate that terminology. Anyway, whatever. And I remember so I've always, like, my dad was 55 when I was born. So when you're talking about your pa, I was just straight with my dad because he's just such a beautiful, I love older people, like older people totally are my jam. And I've always been super comfortable around older people. I know that's not everyone, but I definitely had this fear around starting in disability services that I was somehow going to like say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing or whatever. And I'm just like, stop being so fucking afraid. Like, just lean in and be honest with saying, you know, if you need to, I don't actually know how to interact with you the best way for you, or I don't, whatever. Like, it's when we're not brave enough to lean in. I just love that. Lean into love. Yeah. I think that's going to be.
I talk a little, you know, I talk a lot about political correctness because people are like, oh, I want to be politically correct.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why are you making disability political? Like, it's the person that decided how, the words like special needs or don't say disabled or all this other stuff, they didn't have disabilities. Like, the people have decided how we should be communicated about in the world were not people with disabilities. The people with disabilities, we're disabled and we're proud. We're out and proud.
Yeah, exactly.
Disabled. The people that are scared because we don't see our disabilities as a bad thing. We see them as something that is. I mean, there are people out there that definitely do like that. I'm making generalizations there. I know people in the world are angry. Some people are angry about being disabled, but I'm just not.
Yeah,
like. And the more that I accepted and was happy and knew that, the person on the street, if they're staring at me, it's not because they think I'm less than, or there was no reason. If I got angry at them, then I was just projecting anger out into the world. But if I said hello to them and maybe they got a bit shocked, then I was projecting love out into the world, and then that came back to me. So,
yeah, exactly.
You put out what you want to get, basically.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my God. So much gold. All right. I want to go. No, I'm just like literally my brain wants to go in 3 different directions. I'm going to try and corral it into one. Can we go back to, because originally we started talking about like your full self is out and proud. So all the different facets of you. And you were talking about it wasn't always the way. And then we were talking about the psychic abilities and the experience that you had on the table. I'm interested how you walked through. So you became aware that you had psychic abilities, and probably you made connections with, oh, that's why these things happened. So there's sort of like door opened.
Things.
Yeah. So then the journey towards being completely like, how did you get from, oh, I've got psychic abilities to I have a business and my psychic abilities are one really cool skill that I bring to the table as the self-belief agent? Like,
so I studied courses to awaken my intuition, and I used my teachers who taught me. They taught me how to use cards or visual pictures to open up the visual part of my psychic abilities. So there are different types of psychic abilities. You've got your clairvoyant, which is seeing, your clairaudient, which is hearing, claircognizance, which is kind of you just know, clair, oh my God, I'm going to forget the other one, the clairsentient, that you can just feel. Like, so it's like Cath Day Night, I can feel it in my waters, like the gut feeling.
Yeah.
And there's clair, but I can't think of the word, but it's like taste and smell. So you'll have certain scents that will come to you, whether you might taste something or you might just be, I had an incredible experience with at a conference with Doreen Virtue once, where she called Mary Magdalene into the room and she said, you'll know that she's with you when you can smell roses. And the whole room was like full of the scent of rose. And so I've done a lot of work with Mary Magdalene since, and so that still is an anchor for me. I still come in with that smell of roses. So just practice. And then I went and did my energy healing training with the same teachers, and worked at a healing centre, and went and did my NLP prac and master prac to help me learn to articulate what the messages were coming through and stuff like that, because I just kind of couldn't get it off my tongue. And then I molded it in with my business degree, and it was funny because when I started coaching, I tried to use like the GROW model and like all these different models and stuff, and not use my intuition. And I'm like, why am I such a bad coach? And obviously I was new, but it's because I was basically blocking my intuition. And so you come to me, like I had a session yesterday with someone and she said to me, this is not what I expected it to be. And I'm like, what did you expect it to be? She's like, I thought I was coming to you for you to tell me what I wanted to hear. And that's not my sessions at all.
Oh, honey, you're
she came for a
place.
reading. You're in the wrong room. Like, you've wasted $99 if that's, it was a one-off kind of. I have accessible sessions and then normal sessions. So for like people with disabilities or single mums or whatever, I have a lower rate so they can come and have sessions with me. And it was so funny because I'm like, that's never because the messages are coming through. So and if you block a message, the next one won't be able to come through. So you have to kind of speak quite quickly, and I call it vomiting out the message in order for it to really kind of be just a flow-on energetic effect.
Yeah. I love hearing you saying about the coaching models, because I have had similar experience. Like I've got, training in lots of different models and modalities, and I never know what's going to kind of appear when someone's sitting in front of me. But when I first started, I used to try and do and then you ask this question, and then you ask this, and it was so frustrating for me.
It was so frustrating.
But also obviously completely ineffective for that person, because they're getting like this, 6 steps to success model. Like, it's just like, oh, this is bullshit. This is not how souls work. And I'm actually, I think, as I'm speaking to you, I feel like my body's really responding to you saying all out and proud, because I've got a really deep knowing that there's some witchiness that I have not allowed to come through. And I keep on actually hearing messages. So I don't know whether that's me or whether it's clairaudience, but how funny is this one? You'll laugh at this. I woke up the other night and I hear a voice say, "This is important, pay attention." And then I didn't freaking well stay awake. I woke up and I haven't heard a voice since. And I woke up and I'm like, Shane. Because, other thing, it's always been when I'm awake. So I haven't had that experience before. And so I obviously wasn't awake enough to actually really, I'm paying attention. And now I'm like, it's like I've interrupted the joke at the punchline and I don't know what the freaking answer is. So
you need to ask them to come back and tell you the message clearly.
As I'm talking to you, I'm like, okay, I just need to, because that's very new for me. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I have a really strong sense that, like, you're not ready until you're ready, right? And for,
Totally.
Yeah. So the healing that you went to, actually, can I ask also, when you went to that healer, so her view of the bicep end of things, obviously very different to the medical community. So what was her feeling?
Her view was that I had it was the left-hand side. So I had stuck energy in the bicep that was related to a painful moment in my swimming career. And she told me about the painful moment that was coming through, and she was absolutely spot on.
Wow.
So I had a coach that I had for 10 years, a female coach. Yep. And when I told her that I needed to move swimming clubs because I just needed a new environment for the second half of my career, she basically just never spoke to me again. And I had this, it was horrific because I'd known her since I was 11.
You've grown up with her.
On the day I grew up with her, she was like my other mum. And I remember ringing her on the 10-year reunion of Sydney.
Yeah.
And because I still knew her phone number, and leaving a message and saying 10 years ago today we were at the Paralympics together and I couldn't have done it without you, and she never rang me back.
Oh,
and
honey.
It was just such a really, really painful, heartbreaking moment of human nature. It was demonstrated to me that some people are just like that. And so I'd stored it in my shoulder. And and the beautiful thing is, so like people will be like, oh, but she didn't heal the bicep. And I'm like, well, because the energetics were there for so long. So what happens is when the energetics is stuck there for so long, it then will seep into the human body. And so what began to happen was that my bicep began to tear away. And so I ended up retiring from swimming and took up the sport of wheelchair rugby. And that was when my shoulder really, because I was pushing in a different way, was moving my shoulder in a different way. That's when my shoulder actually packed it in, because that's when the bicep fully ripped off and I had to have it reattached. So I'm like, clinical things, I'm like, because it's happened so much to me. So that's what happened with the spiritual healing.
I was just interested because one of the things that I used to be a medical scientist, so sleep and respiratory medicine, and so it would always just befuddle me and later make me really angry that the medical model of things in the Western world is that you go to one doctor for your heart and one doctor for your sleep and one doctor for your kidney and I'm like, how can this possibly be? Like, we are one body, mind, and soul, like all and energy. So how is this possible? And it fascinates me, the whole energy healing thing where, you don't even have to be, just work on the energy end of things. My question about, I interrupted your pathway. So you went and trained under the intuitive coach. How did you become aware, or were you always aware about the starseed end of things?
So about 7 or 8 years ago, I was at home one night, and I was watching The Prince of Egypt, which is a kids' movie. And so if you're not used to kind of downloads or people talking about this kind of stuff, downloads can happen at any moment, and they can be triggered by different things. So me and my little sister love The Prince of Egypt because we love having like Whitney and Mariah battles in the car because it's a particular song and it's really beautiful. I love it. I've got to say that Bridgie always wins because she's much better singer than me, but I'll give it a good crack as Whitney.
I love it.
Yeah, I was watching the movie and I began to download symbols and clicks in my tongue and different sounds and noises. So I had to pause the movie because it was coming through really fast. And that was the beginning of my healing modality, Power Shapes. And so then even more information began to come through that I was a starseed from the Palladian star constellation. And I had been born or reincarnated to Earth or come to Earth to help people heal their hearts, to help people become brave enough to heal their hearts, to heal the collective. And then I had a couple of different starseeds work with me, and then my beautiful spirit guide Onyx took over probably about 2 years ago, about 2 years ago. And now Onyx she is like the one that I go to, and then she works with everyone else in order to make things happen. So she's like the leader of the gang.
And so she outsources to this whole starseed team. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
I really like the sound of that.
Yeah, and more than starseed. So she'll outsource to angels. She'll outsource to my like to Pa, to my dad's mum, who I never met, who I'm a spitting image of. She's one of my spirit guides. So she'll outsource to, everyone.
Beautiful. Oh,
yeah, she's amazing. When I got her, I recently got her name tattooed on my arm, and she wanted the Oraton O. She'd said that she wanted the Oraton O, and we couldn't find it on the iPad with the tattoo artist. And then the font started to go all squiggly, like her iPad started to go all, and then it stopped on a font. And we clicked on, we wrote Onyx, and it was the Oraton.
Wow. That's very, very cool. That's so cool. How's the connection to, I guess when I'm hearing you speak about Onyx and the team, to me it's like, well, I'm always supported. I'm never alone. There's literally a team, this collective that's helping to guide me, that I can ask questions of, etc. What difference did that make to your self-belief, given that self-belief is like this key thing that you want to help people to anchor to? What difference does that make compared to, I don't know, earlier in life when you were in swimming compared to, because obviously you're in swimming, you're in a team, but you're having a very human experience, again, with my inverted commas. How's that changed your self-belief? Or what has it changed, I guess?
It's changed everything about me. I probably the best way I can describe it is someone really close to me a few years ago was having a lot of health issues, and she said to me, when she'd never had surgery before, and I've had 35 surgeries, so that's like a normal thing for me. It's like a Tuesday.
Every second Tuesday I go to the ocean the other day.
She said, how do you keep on showing up and doing this? How do you keep on overcoming all this pain? And I said, because I believe there's something out there that's bigger than me. And I call on those beings to be with me in those moments. And, so I've had a moment when I had my left knee replaced where I said to Archangel Michael on the table in the operating theatre before I went to sleep, I don't know if I want to wake up. I was just so exhausted. I was in so much being pain for so long. I was over it. My heart was broken from just things happening in my life.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I don't know whether I want to wake up, but I'm so glad that he woke me up because, then I got to live more of my life. It's just there are beings out there that are bigger than you that if you let them can carry things for you so that it bolsters your belief in yourself because you're not just this like one solitary like little human walking around. You've got like this gang of peeps that can do, like, they make you magical, and everyone has them. It's just whether you're willing to tap into it or not.
As you're talking, I also get the sense that it helps you to keep perspective, because if it's not just you and this little planet experience and there is so much more, then it's like, well, I'm one part of something much more immense and probably limitless compared to what we can be conditioned to think as humans. Or, a lot of I certainly grew up in a family where it's like, this is it. Like, this experience, this right now is it. And I'm like, never really believed that.
Yeah, that wasn't my vibe. I was always like, but why?
Yeah, exactly. Do you know, I always, every time I see, like, I'm one of those definitely, and I'm really loving the fact that as my girls get older, it's actually being said back to me as well. But just those moments in time where you could almost cry from the beauty of like a sunset or the most perfect leaf or whatever. And my girls are now starting to go, Mom, and they like send me pictures or something, which it just makes my heart happy. But it's like that. Sometimes I get the sense that this is like we're in a snow globe and someone outside the snow globe has created this magic for us, but then somehow we've got all up in our head fear and self-doubt and shit, and it's like, you're not seeing any of the magic we've created for you.
Well, I reckon it's when you have all that fear and self-doubt and when you're just like trudging along and doing the things because you think you should, that's when you're in the matrix. When you allow yourself to when you move yourself out of the matrix, you realize that there's so much more to life. My little nephew was laughing yesterday because I just moved my head like this, and you can't see me, like for like a bobblehead. That's what I'm doing with my head. Yeah. And he thinks that's the best thing in the world, and he like a little baby's laugh. He's a year old. Is like a serotonin hit. You know?
That chuckle. Yeah. Oh my God, I love that sound. Yeah. The chuckle. You said something I wanted to actually ask. So when you say in the matrix, can you explain that more for people? So my interpretation of that is stuck inside the story of that this is, that there's I guess that we have to do life in a particular way and we have to ignore our true desires and etc. Is that what you're meaning?
It's like, if you haven't seen the Truman Show, like that we're being watched, and this is how, I think that people who are stuck in the matrix, I mean, I can think of people who are not in my life anymore who are stuck in the matrix. You go to work 9 to 5, you never ask for a pay rise. You're meant to marry, you're meant to have children, you're meant to be this way, you're meant to eat this, you're meant to eat that, because that's what like the best human. Like that's about being the best human. And
the bullshit we've been sold.
The bullshit. If you don't conform to this, well, then you're not worthy. And so then I was born into a body that was like, the moment I was born, the nurses and doctors wrapped my legs up and put a glove over my hand so that mum and dad couldn't see my body because it was very squiggly when I came out. And so from the moment my beautiful baby, who's meant to have no judgment on it, comes into the earth, I'm told that I'm wrong. And so I knew that, like, if I think back to that moment, because we have every memory, we just, every memory is available to us. I think, God, I was already out of the matrix.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't what people said I was meant to be. And so I came in and chose that I was and there have been moments when I absolutely have been in the matrix and I've believed all those things.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm just not going to do that anymore.
No.
It's a waste of time.
I'm hearing you, because I was out of the matrix for a long time in my own business, and then I stepped back in when I thought I had no choice. And now I can see, looking back, I absolutely had a freaking choice, but I don't know. I just was in too much fear and made the decision to step back in. Did that for 7 years, the magical 7. Was in business for 7, out for 7, now just step back into business. And I'm like, what the fuck was I doing believing that I had to be that way? Because I'm like, I am not satisfied like that. I am not able to be my full self when I have to turn up. I always knew I sucked at being an employee. I'm not good at taking orders from anyone. But I'm
the worst employee.
I just had 5 jobs in 5 years, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a common factor here. It's you, Kylie. Because I'm like, you're all a mob of idiots. But it's because my experience of being in corporate has been that there's so many people that are so sold on the matrix that they can't think outside of it. And so it's like I'm talking to someone who literally feels like an alien to me, because I don't get what you're seeing. I'm not seeing the same thing. So I'm living in a different reality to you. Yeah. I'm trying to work side by side with you. And it just doesn't. Yeah.
It was, it's that picture of there's a famous piece of artwork. I think it's called London, and everyone they're all in their cars, and it's raining, and everyone's on their way to work with their black umbrellas and black cars and black cabs, and they're all facing the same way. And it's about kind of being stuck in the rat race. Yeah.
And thinking you have no choice, and it's like, oh no, that's how you stay controlled. You good little piece of the machine, you. My goodness. So when we are thinking or feeling into because you've got this business degree, obviously you bring that to the table with coaching as well, but how different is the way you hold space for people when you've got both ends of things? So do you always, say in the self-belief club, I'm interested to see how you've got all of these different facets of you. They're this one whole big thing. So do you have a separation in your head about, this is the strategy and this is the soul part, or they just come out however they come out and the magic happens?
It depends on what the client needs. I'm actually about to, I'll just launch it now, may as well.
Exclusive.
I'm actually, this is an exclusive I am Elle Steele broadcast, but I'm about to launch the Business Belief Club. So it'll be for business owners, because at the moment the Self Belief Club is for business owners and for babes. So there are some business owners in there, and there are some are not. And I was trying to work out how I could have more business conversations, because I froth them. I love talking about online marketing and event management, and some of the work I used to do was like a Crown Palladium, in a team. We used to run events that were for thousands of people, and I love all of that strategic stuff. I love sponsorship, and I just love it. And so, one of my courses that I ran was called Heart and Soul. It was selling with soul, launching with love, and selling with soul, launching with love, and then something else that I can't remember now. But anyway, it was all about kind of putting you into your business. And so a lot of the conversations I'm having around that, because I believe personal branding magic as well. So I really believe that the more that you can show up in your beautiful, authentic self, your business will grow. But the interesting thing about that is if you don't believe in who you are, then you can't actually show up authentically.
Absolutely.
And so that comes back to this belief part, this kind of solid foundation that you can create leverage off, and then you can do all the things. And so, the business belief, the Business Belief Club will be about those types of conversations, and you'll get membership to the Self Belief Club, and that's more of the kind of intuitive, magical activation conversations about life. And then the top tier is the Business Coven, or the Belief Coven, and that's a business mastermind.
Love it. So love it. Thank you for the exclusive.
Well, I haven't even got my branding yet. So, but that'll happen all when I'm back from from Hawaii. So I'm going to Hawaii next week, and
I'm so
from Feb
excited.
onwards. Yeah.
You know that I need to live life vicariously, so lots of photos on Instagram, please and thank you. Hawaii just sounds amazing. Amazing.
I've been before. It's pretty special place.
So good. So good. I just lost my train of thought. When you were talking about, I know. So the personal branding magic. So to me, when I'm hearing you talk about the self-belief, I've got this picture of the self-belief is the foundation, which gives you the confidence to show your full self. And it's only when you show your full self that you can be magnetic to the people that you can most help. That's kind of it in a nutshell. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, because people want to work with people like them. So the more that you can show people that you are like them, that there's some kind of energetic commonality, as well as you have similar beliefs and stuff, then people are drawn to you and they want to work with people like that will make them feel in a way validated, but also will help them become more of themselves. Because if you're working with, I really believe that so many of the beautiful babes that I work with and that I'm working with at the moment, they have so much to offer. They have this beautiful magical spark about them, and if they can see that, then people are drawn to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Yes. And it all comes back to like, how much in the matrix are you still? Because I think that one of the big things that we are disavowing by even being entrepreneurs, and particularly women entrepreneurs, is that we're not opting in to the matrix. So by definition, we're swimming in a new ocean, and it's like you need to have your fish that are of a similar species, I guess, just to feel like, okay, I'm in the right place.
And it's okay it's okay if sometimes, you lie on your back and you do a starfish, one of those starfish floats, which I used to teach kids how to do. It's all right if you every now and then need to just take a deep breath and then find your new group of people, or the new people that make you feel comfortable as you evolve, because you're going to, like, you. And particularly if we think about the energetics of this year, and we're in a universal 7 year, which is all about self-responsibility and spiritual awakening.
Yes.
Like this year, the world will look different at the end of the year because of the transformations that people have undergone because of the energetics that are setting us up for it.
Yep. I was just reading, I love because I've studied and I really feel the 5-element theory in traditional Chinese medicine. So Chinese New Year, I always tell me about the new year. And the water rabbit is like, bring that on. Like lush and just soulful, and feels much more gentle than some of the jarring. I don't know what last year was now. I can't remember. Was it a tiger year, wood tiger? Or maybe
it was a wood tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah, wood tiger, I think. Yeah.
And that was I don't know, it was a pretty good year for me, but jarring for a lot of people anyway, from my observation.
Yeah, my overall feeling was it was good, but there were definitely lots of dark nights of the soul.
Yeah. I'm interested when you're thinking about the Business Belief Club as an offering. Is one of the things that I can really clearly see re-emerging into entrepreneurship is that what I used to do is I'd be really drawn to making a plan, creating the strategy, like very logical. And that's like left brain scientist, but it's also, if I'm very honest with myself, seeking a sense of control and safety and all of the things that don't fucking exist. Like, it's just like the only control and safety you have is in yourself. There's nothing outside of you. So, and one of the things that's become more very present for me, like I only left work in October. So I feel like I'm like a new refugee. I'm like just getting my feet wet. But I'm feeling like I'm actually laughing because it's right next to me. I bought one of those big yearly calendars, right? Because Kylie of first iteration of business would get, plan it all out. When am I going to launch and and this many of this. So I took it on holidays. Like, it's a massive frigging calendar. I took it in the car on holidays, took up half the back seat. and it sat where I was at for holidays for 3 weeks, and now it's come back, and literally the only thing that's on it is birthdays and holidays. So
well,
I guess
that's a good strategy.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess what my question is because you do have both sides of this, when you're talking to someone who is wanting to either create a business or step out more in business, how much is it literally listen to your team if they have a connection with them, or via you able to listen to their team and the direction, and how much of it is like, let's pre-plan, asking for a friend. I just turn this into a coaching call. Sorry, love.
No, it's a bit of both. I love working with the moon cycles and obviously astrology too. So yes. when my intuition is saying launch something, I'm checking to see whether we're in Mercury retrograde or all that kind of stuff. Yep. But at the moment, the planets, until April, we have no planets in retrograde, which is huge. We haven't had that for a couple of years. So there's like heaps of movement. Yeah. When I'm doing my own business, you should see this in my spreadsheets. Like I've got intense spreadsheets, but if I want to launch something, I'll launch something pretty quickly. During the pandemic, me and my beautiful friend Tilly, who does all of my branding, her business is Luna Darlings and the Go-To Gal on Instagram. And we were sitting at my kitchen table. We were in each other's COVID bubbles. Yeah. And she said to me, what do you want to do? And so I pulled a tarot card, and I pulled the Tower card, and I said, let's burn it all down.
Burn it all down.
So we burnt everything about my business down, and we rebuilt it over a period of time. And I said to her, I want to have my own online community, and I want to have it on the 1st of November. That was 5 weeks. We built this amazing, and we launched it. Yep. In a 5-week period, and so that, like, sometimes that's how quickly I work. Yeah. So something will drop in and I'll have to launch it like within a really quick, succinct. Yeah. But otherwise, sometimes, things need to wait a bit and need to kind of grow in their own energetic sense. The Self-Belief Club, I actually had done the Self-Belief Club before in a different kind of way, a different iteration of it 5 or 6 years ago. And then when I was in Uluru last year, I didn't really know what my next kind of step was, and all this stuff about the Self-Belief Club, like old posts kept on popping in, and people that I hadn't spoken to for a long time on Instagram, and the previous message was stuff about the Self-Belief Club, was the above message. And so I actually deleted my whole email list, which was pretty big, on the Lionsgate, and started again. And that was where the Self-Belief Club kind of came in.
I love the burn it all down energy, the Tower. I get excited about the Tower card. Down. I'm like, fuck yes, because when nothing is certain, anything is possible. That's one of my biggest beliefs. You're funny. It's like parallel lives, because it's 10 years. What are we in? Yes. So I'm getting posts from my business a decade ago. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like Cast Me is writing messages for this me. And I'm like, this is pretty cool. It's like a little time loop going on. I'm like self-coaching myself. Let's go down the track of the power shapes, because I really want to hear about that, because you were saying before, I think before we started recording, that part of some of your programs is also training in how to download or read power shapes.
Energetically heal people and energetically heal yourself. So that is part of that is, tapping into intuition and working out what your clairsentient voyancy your clair is. But in the Self-Belief Club, we have an hour of power every month where I'm teaching them to energetically heal. I call it energetic reorganization.
I love that.
And that basically starts with a body scan, and then with the body scan we'll find out what kind of feelings or messages are coming up from scanning our body, and then we'll use one of the 14 power shapes to clear it. So I think we're only up to like power shape, maybe number 3 or 4. But yeah, it's been really beautiful. And then in May this year, will be the first practitioner training of it, which is wild to think that that's happening after so long. But Source has been asking me for a long time. I was the one who was too scared to step up and do it.
Dragging my heels here. Why? Yeah. Can I ask why?
I think it just wasn't probably fully integrated yet. I've written the modality booklet and then I actually wrote it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I just needed to get to an energetic, particularly an energetic vibration to allow it to come in.
Yeah.
And I'm actually planning on getting all of the power shapes tattooed on my body. So I'm waiting for that to happen. A friend's going to do it for me before May to get that all kind of ready.
Yeah.
To be ready for the first practitioner training.
I'm planning my next tattoo and I keep on swinging from what to what, and I keep coming back to sacred geometry because I'm quite obsessed with symbols and the pattern of things, but I'm like, I can't pick. I have to have all of them.
All of them. My next is the key from Lock and Key. I don't know if you saw that show or that comic. It's amazing. There's a key called the Anywhere key, and they put it in the doorway, and you can imagine where you want to go, and it takes you. It's just a beautiful key, and then a little keyhole on the back of my neck because that's for another key called the head key.
So cool! Yeah. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with tattoos at the moment. totally obsessed with tattoos. I go through stages where I went through a stage. We used to live in Mullaney, which is like a kind of hippie sort of style hinterland place inland from the Sunshine Coast. And my kids went to like a barefoot Buddhist school, and like it was just a beautiful, beautiful life. And then it was time to move on. We just knew we've moved around quite a lot. But there is a tattoo artist there that does like channels tattoo.
Oh, that's my dream to have a channel tattoo.
Oh my God. But I'm just not meant to get one yet because I keep on putting an inquiry form in through her Instagram, and she must be like, she's booked years in advance. And I just don't get anything back. I'm like, all right, not yet. But we were in Mullaney over the Christmas period, and I couldn't even find the shop. That's the other thing. Like I knew the street address, but it wasn't there. And I was like, okay, I'm definitely just really not okay. But I'll know. I'll know when I'm meant to
happen. It'll happen. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now we'll put in the show notes all of the links to everything that we've talked about. But do you want to share how people can find your lovely self online?
Yeah, so all of everything, my website, Instagram, Facebook is all under I Am Elle Steele. The only difference is my Facebook page is I Am Elle Steele Australia.
Yep.
You can find me through all those channels. If you want to know more about the Self-Belief Club, that's on my website under Work With Me.
Yes.
And then under the Self-Belief Club in March, where I'm holding the first ever Self-Belief Club Summit in Geelong in Melbourne.
I saw that. Yes.
So it's an in-person full day of like energetic reorganization. I've got extra healers coming in to hold space with me. So it'll be like on steroids. And we'll be doing self-belief activations and talking a lot about self-belief and all that kind of stuff, catered for all people coming. And
where did you say it was? Did you say Melbourne?
It's in Geelong.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
So on the 25th of March at the co-working KO. Yeah.
KO.
Working for it. But
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Maybe
I think there's 22 tickets still available, but Self-Belief Club babes, they have preference. So I'm trying to
And just for people that are listening to this and may well be able to find it because it's in the future from January when we're recording it, what's your TED Talk called?
My TED Talk is called The Dance of Disability.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. That's what I'd written down, but I just wanted to make sure that I was on the right track. Beautiful. All right. So we will stay in touch anyway. When that comes out, I will add it to the show notes as well. But for anyone listening in the future, it has been an absolute pleasure. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground, jumped all over the place. And we did start our conversation today talking about bushfire disasters. So I'm glad that the vibe has changed because that is not where we wanted to stay. Thank you for being your whole beautiful self and sharing so openly and generously with us. Yeah, I
Thanks
feel
for
like
having me.
there's a lot of little pingy moments for me in this chat about being your full self and opening up to the messages. Probably staying awake when you have a voice say, "This is important. Listen." I was like,
I get that a bit. I have so many downloaded messages when I have my phone next to me and I have to like write it in the notes, and if you're like a bit half asleep and only one eye, you have to actually type the code in. The Face ID doesn't work.
Yeah, well, my phone has not had Face ID for quite some time. It doesn't work, and I'm like, whatever. It's not important enough for me to. I feel like phones are a bit matrixy anyway, so I'm kind of like, I'm not buying into this phone having to see my face. But then when I'm at the checkout putting my bloody keys in, I think, sometimes it's cutting off your nose despite your face. Anyway. Thank you so much. I encourage everyone to go and check you out, and particularly, so when did you say that Power Shapes launches in May? Is that right?
Power Shapes launches in May. Our practitioner training is on the 20th of May, and there'll only be most likely about 10 spots for that, because I don't want it to be a big hoo-ha. I want it to be quite like intimate. So, and then I go on leave for a bit because I'm having my ankle fused. So I won't be doing probably any other in-person things until 2024.
Do you have a party every 5 operations or anything to make it like a little bit more exciting? Like, well, that must be.
It's my 40th this year, so I'm planning all going well, touching wood.
Yes.
I will go. I'll do a big Europe trip after this. I'll have to learn to walk again, so it'll be depending on how much I can walk.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah, big.
Yeah.
Wait, what month is your birthday?
October.
Lovely. Okay. Plenty of time.
I'm a Libra. Yeah.
Plenty of time, says me, who's never had to learn to walk again.
May 4 months in fiberglass, and then you're not allowed to walk on it for 4 months. So that's the annoying thing. No load bearing for 4 months.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, I know something we didn't talk about. Our mutual love of the ocean. I just feel like anyone else that loves being in the ocean is my kind of people. I know that.
Yes.
I'm like, I reckon I've had a lifetime of living under the water. I'm definitely
a mermaid. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm like, was I from Atlantis? I don't know, but I really wish
they're Atlantean starseeds. So Rebecca Campbell has a really good quiz on her website. And you could find out if you're from Atlantis.
That's my homework. Rebecca Campbell, beautiful lady. Also got some really lovely tarot decks as well. I'll put that in the show notes too. Thank you so much. It's been so good to turn my just stalkering on Instagram into actually meeting you. It's like, Kylie, you don't know these people. Stop. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for tuning into another episode, and I trust you're walking away with inspiration, maybe some chiropractic adjustments of the soul where you've realized perhaps some ways that you're getting in your own way, or something that needs to be healed, or something that's calling to you that your heart really, really wants to birth or create or step into in this second cycle of life. And if that's you, I am throwing my arms wide open and inviting you to check out all of the ways that we could potentially partner together at kyliepatchett.com.au. That's my website for the podcast, and also one-on-one and group programs in midlife mentorship, yoga and breath work in specifically designed menopause classes online, and also, super excitingly, a list of retreats around Australia that I have been blessed to partner with some pretty darn spectacular humans who also help midlife mavens through this transition point. So if you are looking for some support, some community, some tools, just a safe place to actually reconnect to who you are, what you want, and come home to your own power and magnificence, I would love to welcome you into any one of those containers. So head on over to kyliepatchett.com.au, and I will be back in your ears very, very soon.